everyone, welcome back. So hopefully this one takes. I've tried to film this a few times tonight. It's almost midnight and I would really like to go to sleep. So now that I'm done complaining, let's get into the actual story. We're going back to the world of Nora Roberts for the second installment of the Ardmore, or the Gallaghers of Ardmore series. And that book is Tears of the Moon. Again, let us appreciate the beautiful cover. She always gets really pretty covers for her books. I love them. Anyways, so if you have not read Jewels of the Sun yet, which is the first book, then I highly recommend that you go back and do that. Just to avoid any unintentional spoilers. I've been working to try and make sure I don't accidentally give away too much of the story, which is a bad habit that I have. So I was purposely very, very vague when I did the review for the first book, and I don't want to undo any of that. So go back and read the first book before watching this review. So, real quick recap. Jude and Aidan, which is the couple from the first book. Jude was an American who came to Ireland after she got divorced. She met Aidan while she was trying to do research on a book that she was trying to write, and they fell in love over old folklore stories. Come to find out, one of the folklore stories was not just folklore, it was real. And it involves a fairy prince. So, the story of Prince Carrick and Lady Gwen is that 300 years ago, Prince Carrick fell in love with a young woman from the town named Gwen. And he tried to convince her to go away with him to the fairy realm so they could be together forever. He never actually told her that he loved her. He just assumed that she knew. So when she said no, he went to the sun and brought back for her jewels from the sun. Laid them at her feet and she still said no. He went away and a few years later he came back. At this point she'd been married and already had some children. And he brought her tears from the moon. And again, she turned him away. The third time he came to her, he brought for her the heart of the sea. At this point, she was old. She was, a grandmother, probably pretty close to giving up on life. And she told him, "I'm too old to come with you now. If at any time you had simply told me that you loved me, I would have come with you. But you never did." So, being upset and angry because he believed he'd shown his feelings for her in action, he cast a curse upon the two of them, that because he came to her 3 times, they would have to wait 300 years and wait for 3 couples to fall in love wholly and completely before they could be together again. Well, it's 300 years later. Jude and Aidan have already fallen in love. While Jude was staying in the cottage that now belonged to her great-grandmother. It had been her great-grandmother's cousin's house, Maud. So her great-grandmother let her stay there while she was researching her book. And as previously stated, this is when she met Aidan and they fell in love. Now, this is one of the spoilers from the first book, which is why it's important that you read it. The diamond from Jude's ring after marrying Aidan was one of the diamonds from Prince Carrick. He had presented himself to Jude because obviously he wants the curse to end. So when she was struggling in her relationship with Aidan, he spoke with her and was also seeking a little bit of female enlightenment into his own situation. And he had dropped the diamonds down for her. And I'm not going to get too much into what the conversation was there, but when he left, one of the diamonds had remained, and that was the diamond that became the primary stone in Jude's ring. And this becomes a trend in the books. So, this story is a story of Sean Gallagher and Brenna O'Toole. So Sean Gallagher obviously is Aidan's brother. He is the cook at the pub that the family owns and runs. He also writes music on the side. He loves music. He's very good at writing music. Everybody tells him how great his music is. He's a little bit more humble about it. He kind of feels like, you're all my friends and family. You have to say that. I know I can write a good song, but it's not really good enough to be professionally performed, you know? And Brenna O'Toole is a girl from the town. She is kind of a tomboy. She works alongside her father, and they do repairs for people in the town. So they're kind of handymen, or handy people, I guess. And she grew up alongside Aiden, Sean, and Darcy. Darcy is the Gallagher sister. She and Darcy grew up as best friends, which is kind of funny because Darcy is extremely feminine and girly, and Brenna obviously is not. And so Brenna and Sean basically grew up alongside each other, so they already have an established relationship. We saw the established relationship in Jewels of the Sun. They pick at each other, they are affectionate with each other, and to anyone just like glancing at them, that would just go, oh, they're really close friends, you know? But upon closer inspection, it becomes very, very clear that the two of them are interested in each other and have been for a very long time. But neither of them thinks the other is interested, so they don't do anything about it. Probably because they don't want to lose their friendship, and probably a very healthy fear of rejection. So they nitpick at each other, and it's something that will continue to be true of them even after they get together. So Brenna very strongly believes in Sean's ability as a writer. Getting into some of the conflicts here, and at one point she kind of oversteps her bounds pertaining to his music. And there's another conflict in that Brenna's little sister, Mary, has developed a crush. Was it Mary or Kathleen? I forget. One of the sisters. She has a few sisters. There are 5 O'Toole girls. But one of her sisters has a crush on Sean and has been trying to get him to notice her and trying to develop a relationship. So the whole time that Brenna and Sean are dancing around each other, and even after they finally realize that they're into each other and start seeing each other, they're trying to be kind about the sister's feelings and kind of hiding it from her because they don't want to hurt her. And we get a little bit more of our folklore merging into modern day, because as of now, Sean is living in Fairy Hill Cottage. Jude's great-grandmother basically deeded it to her and Aiden when they got married. However, in the Gallagher family, the first one of the siblings to be married is the one that moves into the Gallagher house. So Aiden and Jude move into the family home, and Sean moves into Fairy Hill Cottage. Darcy is living in the apartment above the pub. So Sean has Brenna over one day fixing I believe it was the stove in the kitchen, and he leaves before she does, and she sees Lady Gwen. Lady Gwen speaks to her. This is something that has never been known to happen. People have seen her, but she's never spoken to anybody in over 300 years. And Lady Gwen comes to her a couple of times. I don't remember if she comes to Sean or not. Who I do know comes to Sean is Prince Carrick. He comes to Sean basically a little impatient. Like, okay, your brother's married off. You're the second in line. We need to get this going. Because again, he's been waiting for Gwen for 300 years at this point. He's chomping at the bits. And here's the thing. If at any point one of them screws up and misses out on their chance at love, he has to start all over, which could be taken as like another 3 couples, or another 300 years and then another 3 couples. So he's got a lot riding on this. And they get into a discussion where Carrick basically says, you know, you're the next in line. At which point Sean asks him, you know, hey, did you interfere with Jude and Aiden? Are they even really in love? And, you know, Prince Carrick tells him, he's like, you know, you can't fake that. I can make someone lust for someone. I can make someone attracted to them. I cannot make them fall in love. There's nothing stronger than that. And no magic I have can do anything. So any doubt in the reader's mind at that point that it's true love obviously gets squished. So again, just like in the first story, you don't have a whole lot of crazy action scenes. You don't have a horrible evil entity wanting to mess with the people in the village. It's literally just the couples falling in love. And it happens to coincide with a curse that may set 2 people in love free finally. So I've done a bit of comparing between this and the Three Sisters trilogy for 2 reasons. One, they're both kind of supernatural. And 2, they both deal with, you know, prophecies, second chances, you know, not so much reincarnation, but like prophecies and second chances and curses and things. So I kind of used that as my comparison. If you're wondering why I keep comparing this to the Three Sisters trilogy, that's why. So again, the storyline is really good. Because you don't have anything super crazy happening, you get more character development, you get more relationship development, you get more insight into the characters, their emotions and things. You do get more character development of even Carrick and Gwen to an extent, although it's not done in a way that overpowers Sean and Brenna. This is very much Sean and Brenna's story. Everything else is just supplemental. But you do get more of Lady Gwen and more of Prince Carrick, making it a little bit more fun, making it a little bit more supernatural, but not in an overpowering way. So I am going to rank this higher than I did Jewels of the Sun. I'm going to rank this one at like a 3.7 instead of 3.5. So I hope you enjoyed this video review. I hope you look forward to the 3rd and last installment of this series and all of my future reviews. I look forward to seeing you all in the next review. See you later. Bye.